Hello YouTube, I'm Zach, you're watching ZakDTV. Thanks for stopping into your spot for interesting news from around the net. Today we're going to talk about Ted Koppel, $4 million gold heist, a star killer in real life, what happens when robots take all of our jobs, and a forklift used for riot control. All that's coming up on ZakDTV. Remember, if you like what I do, go ahead and click subscribe. Let's get right into this. For a long time here, I've been trying to wrap my head around what has happened to modern journalism. What has happened to modern America? And I'll tell you what, Ted Koppel, I think he just made a great point yesterday while he was talking to Sean Hannity. Now, Koppel, if you don't know, he's one of the last greats. He's like a Walter Cronkite or a Barbara Walters or maybe a Dan Rather. He is one of the last great journalists out there. These were people who really relied on research, facts, getting down to the bottom, to the truth, not being scared to piss off an industry or something. And that's compared to a lot of our modern journalists who rely on just spitting opinion, hate, bias, bigotry, and just blind partisanship. To give you a little bit of background on Koppel, in 2010 he said this: "The commercial success of Fox News and MSNBC is a source of nonpartisan sadness for me. While I can appreciate the financial logic of drawing television viewers in with a flood of opinions designed to confirm their own biases, the trend is not good for the Republic." He further stated in the same article that that style of news is to journalism what Bernie Madoff was to investment. He told his customers what they wanted to hear, and by the time they learned the truth, their money was gone. And that's not the only time this guy has trashed the mainstream media. He did so to Bill O'Reilly's face in an appearance in 2016 on The O'Reilly Factor. This was after Bill O'Reilly interviewed the then candidate Donald Trump, and he wanted Koppel's take on the interview. He said he had interviewed Trump many times, and it was not an easy interview. He asked Koppel, "How would you do it?" To that, Koppel replied, "It is irrelevant how I would do it, and you know who made it irrelevant? You did." O'Reilly, acting unfazed, like Hannity did the other day, asked him to continue to elaborate on his point. And that's when Koppel stated, "You have changed the landscape of television over the last 20 years. From being objective and dull to being subjective and entertaining. And in this current climate, it doesn't matter what the interviewer asks Mr. Trump. He's going to say whatever he wants to say, as outrageous as it may be." And even though this guy seems like a dinosaur, he is somebody my parents used to get their news from, not me. He is one of the last old school journalists, and he is somebody who truly believes in journalistic integrity and nonpartisan reporting. And for that, you have to respect him. It's actually guys like him who made me want to get into this, because I was getting sick of seeing all this left or right. There's no middle. And knowing that of him, it's really no surprise what he did in this video. And so, in true bully fashion, after Hannity got put in his place there, he jumped on Twitter. At first, right after the interview, he went in and said, "Oh, I told him to keep this stuff in. He told me it wouldn't be aired, but I said keep it in. It's a great piece of show." But after the fallout started, he started tweeting stuff like, "Hey, there's my chance to expose fake edited news, and that's not the real truth, and you should see the whole interview." Because he saw how bad he got spanked on national TV and couldn't deal with it. For that, Ted, I got to give you a big thumbs up. Keep up the good fight, man. You're what real journalism needs. Next, I'd like to talk to you about a gold heist that happened in Germany. You can call this a high-end gold heist. You could call it a coin heist, because it's a little bit of both. This happened at the Bode Museum in Germany about 3:30 in the morning, Monday morning. So this is pretty fresh news here. Thieves broke in through a window, and they stole a 220-pound gold coin. Yeah, 220 pounds. You know this wasn't one guy. It took a bunch of guys to carry that thing out. This coin had Queen Elizabeth on one side and a maple leaf on the other, so it's known as Big Maple. And there's a couple of them, actually, that were minted at the same time. This one was kept behind bulletproof glass. Now, police aren't saying how the thieves got into it, how they got the case open, but they did. And out of everything in this museum, millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of stuff in the museum, all they took was that gold coin. That's a pretty brazen heist, and all I could think of is like Snatch or something, where they steal all this gold, and then they can't get rid of it without getting busted. Let's see when they pop back up on the radar. I bet you it's either in a grave or on TV as being caught. Next up, I want to talk to you guys about a real-life star killer. This is known as the COTS bot. C-O-T-S bot. That's Crown of Thorns Starfish bot. It looks pretty deadly, has that pointer off the bottom, looks like it's sticky, and it is meant to kill. But this one is not meant to kill us humans, it's meant to go after starfish. The crown of thorns starfish is a ravenous feeder that feeds on coral polyps and the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. These things are absolutely destroying the reef. Now, they're not an invasive species, they've been there forever. But due to a lack of natural predators, dying off because of global warming and whatnot, we now have an explosion in this population. What people have been doing is divers have been going down and injecting them with a brine that will dissolve them from the inside out and stops their ability to section off a part of their body and regrow, which is their common defense when they're getting attacked. Cod spots are designed to do the same thing and could do it correctly 90% of the time. These things have gotten so smart that they don't even go after plaster models of these starfish anymore. They only go after live, moving versions of them. That's how good they are. Now, like I said, 90% of the time they get them. When they don't, they take pictures of the ones they think might be a starfish and send it back via Wi-Fi or via a tether. I think it's probably going to be Wi-Fi. They're supposed to be free roaming. To a research vessel. And then a human can look at it and say yes or no to get that thing. These are meant to do a primary sweep, and human divers are still going to be used to get the harder to reach ones, the more tucked up in and stuff. But these things carry enough poison on them to kill 200 starfish in an 8-hour shift. That's pretty crazy. Now, these were built by a local Queensland college, the Queensland University of Technology, and it looks like these people are doing some great things in robotics. They also have a lot of things for harvesting and planting crops robotically, weeding robotically. They're really looking for an environmentally friendly robot here, and I think it's great. But you know, we're talking about environmentally friendly robots. Let's look at what this is going to do to the economy. I mean, just last week I was talking about delivery robot. This week it's a star killer robot. We've seen all sorts of different robots being brought in to do human work and automation of automobile factories, or even I worked at a place where we made taco shells, and to sort the taco shells into bags, they had a robot doing it instead of what used to employ 2 people per shift. A recent study showed that automation will take 30% of jobs in the UK, 38% of jobs in the US, 36% in Germany, and 21% in Japan by 2030. That is a huge loss of jobs across the market. There's a place that predicts there will be 10 million lost jobs in the United States alone by 2020. That's 3 years away. And this prediction was made at the end of 2016. What's the solution for this? We're going to have a lot of people out of work. Right now in our government, there's a large group of people looking at universal basic income. And it also has a lot of tech pioneers like Elon Musk looking at it as a positive thing. What a universal basic income is a basic amount that you need to live. It's supposed to cover your basic bills, housing, food, that kind of stuff. So that way you're covered for all your basic needs. This isn't going to pay for your iPhone or buy you a new computer, but it's just going to cover what you need to live. Finland already has it. Switzerland was looking to implement it, but it got shot down through voting. Scotland has plans on trying it out later this year in 2 different cities. And France, Kenya, India, and the Netherlands are all thinking about going with a universal basic income already. Now, people are saying the negatives to this is going to kill people's drive to work. It's going to make it so they don't feel like getting ahead in life. You're going to give them what they need and they won't desire to get any better. But people who support this are saying that this will give people a chance to go to school. It will allow them to try more risky things and grow as a person and maybe get into a better financial situation by knowing that their basic needs are getting taken care of and they could focus on personal growth as a job seeker. To me, it's a tough one. I can see it both ways. I don't like the people on welfare who just don't want to get ahead. But at the same time, I could see where people with a basic income would be able to maybe create more, study more, learn more, and make themselves better available to the job market instead of working at McDonald's their whole life. Let me know what you guys think about this. It's an interesting topic to me. So here we've talked about a couple different types of tech problems that are coming up. Here's a big problem for all you rioters and your peaceful protesters and whatnot. Bozana, not sure how to pronounce it. They're a heavy equipment manufacturer out of the Slovak Republic. Basically, they make mine-clearing robots. These are RC controlled, some semi-autonomous robots used to clear minefields in battle-torn areas. Well, they have come out with a forklift designed to control riots. Yes, this thing is a behemoth, and it's nasty looking. It can be RC or human-controlled. Now, the human-controlled has more options, but they both include a Riot wall, which is a 3-section wall that can expand to cover a whole street and push people down a street to direct them to where you want them to go. That's what it said on their website. Or gather them where you want them to be. The unmanned one also has the ports for ballistic assault on the crowd. So you can fire your rubber bullets, or if you don't want to use your rubber bullets, why not use real bullets? And with the human-driven one, you get the option of a powerful water cannon up on top of it, because you need a human to blast all those people that are trapped in your little box of riot control. That cannon can spray water, a water foam mixture with mace, or a dye, so you can mark them and go round them up later. Now, I mean, this is obviously a off-road forklift with a trailer on the back to store your water and a hydraulic wall put on the front of it. But this is a badass looking invention. And I'll tell you what, when it comes to people rioting, I don't think it's a bad idea. If you blocked off a street and kept everyone contained to an area, people aren't going to be breaking windows and stuff because they know they're going to be getting arrested for whatever they do. I can see it becoming an issue, though, when they decide to block off both ends of a street and flood it with mace or something. Then we're going to have problems. I've said it before, the future's interesting. Sometimes it's a little scary, though. Well, I'm going to wrap my show up there. It is like 5 o'clock already. Usually I'm done filming by noon, so this one's going to get out late. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. I got digging deep into a story this morning that really went nowhere. I didn't report on it today because it was just too in-depth, and I don't have the time for it. But I wasted a couple hours thinking I was going to get to the bottom of it, and I did not. So again, sorry, this one's going to go up a little late. If you like what I do and you want more of it, go ahead and click subscribe below. Share me with your friends. It'd really help out. Get me out in the public. Remember, I'm here Monday through Friday. This is ZakDTV, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.